Hi guys, so we've had a few questions about deadlifts, just like the common faults we see, what our thoughts are on it, how we'd set up and execute our clients through performing the exercise. So I'm going to split this video into kind of 3 bits. The first bit, we don't need Rachel to demo, and it's basically all about fitting the exercise in for you and for your goals. So you've got to ask yourself the question to start off with: do you need to be lifting the bar from the floor? What we find with a lot of people is they actually can't get themselves in the correct position to lift the bar from the floor. But it's okay, you don't need to be lifting the bar from the floor unless you're competing in a sport like powerlifting, where the deadlift's involved, and obviously you need to be lifting the bar from the floor. So you can see here, I don't know whether you can see on this video, but the bar's slightly raised, and that's just to basically accommodate the person that's performing the exercise, and making sure that there's not so much demand on the upper body posture, on hip mobility, thoracic extension, etc. So we just find that having the bar raised, people are able to get into that position a lot easier, but still have a training effect and still hit the desired goals that they're after. So that's the first bit. Second bit, let's have a look at the setup position. So Rachel's just going to get into a setup position here, and what we're looking for, you can't see it on the videos, but her front of her shoelaces of a boot to get under the bar, okay, and one, that makes sure she's not too close to the bar, that when she lifts it up it hits the shin or hits the knee, and secondly, it makes sure it's not too far away, that she's putting added and unwanted stress through her lower back. Probably thirdly as well, it would mean that she's lifting the bar in as vertical line up and down as possible, which can only be a good thing. So if Rach goes back into that position again, what we're looking for as well, okay, from the ribs, abdominal, down the upper thigh and to the kind of armpit area is a triangle. So that means shoulders in front of the bar, and then coming down to the hips, and then coming down to the point here. What we find too often, sorry about this Rach, is people getting into a squat position. So that means shoulders coming back a bit so they're more vertical in line with the knees, and therefore you're just replicating a squat position. The idea of bringing a deadlift in is obviously it brings something in different for the individual that's doing it. So reason for bringing a deadlift in is that it challenges more the posterior chain, hamstrings, glutes, and lower back. And then thirdly, what we see is one of the common faults we see people do is lifting from the lower back instead of bringing in the hips in sooner. So the lower back's involved too soon in the exercise, meaning that it just takes over, the hips are redundant, and therefore 9 times out of 10 further down the line, they're going to experience something like lower back pain. So it's important to start off with, we try and get the hips working as soon as possible on the upward phase in the exercise, and then the lower back to come in at a later point as we get towards the top of the exercise. So if Rach kind of gets into the start position, and what we're looking for her to do as well with the setup, okay, is brace before she lifts. So brace, and then she lifts up. And like I said, we're looking, Rach, if you just do a few reps now, we're looking for her to keep her lower back and in fact her spine in the same sort of shape, meaning that all she's concerned about is getting her hips from A to B, and they're kind of performing the most of the exercise, and the lower back will come in at the end. So I hope those 3 points have helped. In summary, you don't have to lift from the floor. You can use raised blocks to perform a deadlift, a modified deadlift exercise, if you want to call it that. Have a look at your setup position and make sure the deadlift's achieving something different from a normal squat pattern. And thirdly, make sure you're not lifting from the lower back too soon in the exercise, and that the hips are playing more of a role than what we commonly see here at Frontier. Okay, hope that's helped, guys. Cheers.